Hi, this is Ken Hackshaw, and welcome to another session of Risk Unfiltered, where we talk about politics, entertainment, finance, anything where there's an element of risk, and that's almost everything we do because the risk management needs to be a lifestyle. And today we are fortunate to have, after much ado, CollegeBoy Jesse. I could probably say one of the preeminent soca artists in Trinidad and Tobago. So, CollegeBoy, welcome to Risk Unfiltered, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah. So what do your friends call you? Let's start there.
Jesse. Some call me Jesse, and I mean, no, some call me College.
In the essence of full, I do know Jesse on a personal level, and I followed his career. Now that is booming, he has little time for peons like my good self, but it's okay. It's okay. So the first question that I have for you is the first question I would have asked of all of the folks I would have spoken to thus far in the entertainment space. How prepared is Jesse for the next major disruption in the entertainment space? How prepared are you?
Right now, I am not 100% prepared. I would say I'm probably like 65% prepared. So it's always a work in progress. Because of the pandemic, I've had to shift a lot of things in regards to my business structure as an entertainer. And it's a work in progress. We're trying to be prepared for what's next because everything is so uncertain now. So right now, as we speak, I'm probably 65% prepared to manage different, aspects of the things that I choose as a career. Yeah.
Right. And so I like the distinction you have made. So you don't consider yourself a soca artist. You are an entertainer. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You dance like Michael Jackson. You have a voice like Little Richard, and you sing soca as well. So yeah. Okay. So God forbid, all things being equal, if another major disruption in the entertainment space was to happen next week Tuesday, you would have something because you aren't there yet. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So let me push the envelope. Why aren't you? So COVID has been with us for like close to a year now. So why aren't you? And you can never be fully prepared, but why aren't you further along the preparation line? So maybe like 80%.
Yeah, because I'm at the foundation stage of getting the other things up and ready, and running. So this is where I don't think that I'm 100% there. So it's a lot of effort and hard work in the foundation, trying to get things up and going. So this is why at this present moment, I don't feel like I'm 100% ready. Yeah.
And I appreciate that honesty. And so when you use the word foundation, I use the word structure. And as you would know, I work with another entertainer, and we have done just that, or in the process of doing that. Well, kind of almost complete, putting that structure. Because in speaking with folks who would like to, who would like to engage this other entertainer, it cannot be a hustle. You cannot treat what you do as a day job, as a 1 gig at a time kind of thing, which is unfortunately what many folks in your space now do or was doing, and some still do, right? Because if this is your bread and butter, and this is the heart of your being as it is yours, then you need to have that structure, what you're calling foundation. Because in the absence of that, it's going to be like constant failure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you're in the process of structurally building that entertainment house. So where you have the foundation and different levels for not when, but if the next disruption occurs. What has been your greatest obstacle during COVID in your profession? What has been, and I'm not talking about just getting gigs, because I know that was a challenge, but what did you find as an entertainer was most troubling, given the art form and in Trinidad and Tobago specifically? What pissed you off the most?
The fact that our industry, it highlighted the fact that our industry had no structure, one, and that probably 95% of our revenue came from live performances, whereas in other industries or other genres, to say musically, they have a better structure where the artists are not solely dependent on live performances to survive. So that was like an eye-opener for me and other artists. Whereas now we had to look after our business in regards to our music, knowing, do we own our music? What are the streams that we could earn revenue from with the music?
Right.
Apart from just dependency on live shows. So, I mean, that was an eye-opener and yet still a blessing in disguise where I could work with the right people in terms of creating that structure that could protect, artists like myself with business. So that was the step. The step was that security.
Has it improved though? I mean, now that COVID is 12 months in, has that improved amongst artists or with the entertainment structure in Trinidad and Tobago? Is the platform for entertainment, has that improved in Trinidad and Tobago? Or is it each person up to themselves?
Definitely. It's always been each person up to themselves. What it has done, however, it provided conversations. So it provided conversations among the artists, which was good because it was something that has never been done before. So it provided that conversation and also build that awareness to all of us in regards to us knowing more about our business, seeking the information now, because before that, everybody was so busy on just the shows and the shows and the shows and trying. But now, for the first time, this was actually thinking about the business aspect of the industry, and that has improved. So in terms of improvement, that's the only thing. But now, I don't think that we have the structure yet. We don't have the support yet. But we're trying to make the moves, forward to have that support. So that's a plus.
Okay, so there is more collaboration amongst artists and less competition, because we know that competition thingy, that fight me down, is always there. But so in the risk space, we say there's a maxim that goes like this: a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. Right. So there's always the downside of good risk management, and then there are the opportunities. And what COVID has done in many industries, I'm sure what you're speaking to now, that given COVID, it has presented new opportunities for Jesse and his music to go beyond just live performances, to monetize that which you offer. So how is that going? How is that that transformation into owning your music and copyrights? How is that going?
It's baby steps. I mean, so far it's been just baby steps, and we're looking at different mediums. I think the drive to get the support from people to download and stream our music, that has been, on the up. The fact that now we have Spotify that's available in the Caribbean, that's also a plus, because because of the pandemic, I mean, and the drive for artists to push for online streaming and online sales, this has built the awareness for Spotify and other digital platforms to now open their eyes and realize that the Caribbean was a location that they were not doing business with. So steps like that is where we are now, and so it's only building. We actually driving for and looking for more opportunity with the digital platforms. Personally, now I have all the music. I'm dropping an EP in the coming weeks, and I'm happy that I have ownership of all my music, and this is the steps that we had to take.
Right. So had it not been for COVID, you probably would not be moving along this continuum, right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have persons in my team who always aware, and they also seek that side of the business being structured. But I don't feel like the focus would have been there if it wasn't for COVID. The focus would have just been like irregular. We're looking for the live shows and looking for that stream. So COVID
to monetize the for quick turnaround on the music. Yeah. And you're spot on. So now you're in the middle of building that, what you call platform. I'll call that structure around you, and a team of folks you can depend on. What's what do you see as your next big obstacle in getting to where Jesse wants to get to?
Definitely finance is an obstacle, because we want to compete. We want our music to be recognized and appreciated like other genres around the world. And finance, when you look at some of the labels, because this is what we're trying to create. We're trying to create a label structure that could distribute our music in the right places and where the music could be appreciated. But you look at the budgets that the labels invest behind some of their music, and we definitely don't have that, because we function independently. And this is where we fall short. So, and in terms of our genre, the songs that has made it globally is because of the investment by the labels. So now we try to create a structure and seek support in any way, financially, to help drive the music, in the right places.
Okay, so two things. I'll ask you a question I asked of two top entertainers in Trinidad and Tobago. Why do you think corporate Trinidad and Tobago or corporate Caribbean is not as invested in the genre? And so there are some small exceptions, but why is it that if it is, from your perspective, that corporate Trinidad and Tobago, the corporate Caribbean space, is not supportive? So why isn't Jesse the brand ambassador for a major financial institution, a major conglomerate in Trinidad and Tobago? Why is that disconnect there? Why is it? And a good example that was raised is, as good as she is, the Jamaican artist Sensi, I think, is now is a brand ambassador for Carib. So in my head, great, but it could be her. And since Carib is a Trini product for the most part, then why not one of our local folks?
I think it's a matter of audience. It's audience. It's a numbers game. And these brands, they look at, the numbers. And even here, I mean, with Trinidad, and you look at the audience for our music, we don't have the audience as other genres. So these corporate brands, they would like to align to the numbers, the audience that they want to reach. And,
but let's go though, because if you don't get the financial backing to push your music and your stuff, if that is lacking, then your audience will always be in a restrictive space. So there is, and I would imagine that that's both a marketing issue, a public relations issue, and someone or some entity now being advocating or having a stronger advocacy for the brand called Soca. So who speaks for Soca? And I'm not talking entertainment wise, I'm talking marketing and branding wise.
I believe one of the issues is the fact that we only market the Soca brand seasonally. And corporate brands, they want to sell 365 days a year. They don't want to sell for a season. So they look for partnerships that could give them, that mileage. And this is something now that we have to think about as a community. Why do we only market our products seasonally? It's going to affect everything across the world. If we only, it's like a shop. If I'm only selling in my shop for 3 months, but my product is demanded, for 12 months, this is where the effect, this is how we are affected. It's like we have to continuously sell and please the people for more months for people to enjoy it and have that loyalty behind it, just like the other brands and other genres, across the world. And this is our problem. So even with corporate, it's like they would have budgets for Soca, let's say like Carib, they would have a budget for the season of the carnival. But then after that, they want to continuously, especially now in the pandemic, they have to be creative and create interest and demand for their brand 365. And how do they do that? They have to do it with brands that are selling 365 days a year. So it's a whole transformation for us in entertainment here locally. And we have to break away from that whole seasonal thing. That's just I believe that.
No, but no, you're spot on. But is that happening? Because there's two, so a big word, there's a caveat to that. Across the world, there are carnivals.
Yes.
So you could have one sound and you could be employed for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
COVID notwithstanding. Let's say if there wasn't COVID. But having said that, so when we talk about multiple streams of income. Now, I know you're from a wealthy family. You have like 10 businesses at the side or whatever. Just kidding, just kidding. But how do you? And again, I want to use I now call him General Ryan because he's way past a private now. So he's big on and huge now in diversifying his brand, right?
Yeah.
The same thing with Tracy, Happy, right? So what are you doing? And you and I had this conversation kind of like sidebar. What's the next big step in diversifying Jesse?
Yeah. So what I have created is I've partnered with my brother and his team, CollegeBoy Music. So CollegeBoy Music represents a soca music label. Apart from just a music label, I mean it's a soca label. I don't think we ever had a soca music label. We have created a structure that could support the resources of our artists, and which are, we live in a time now where music videos are necessary for marketing our music. And this is the services that we could do. Apart from producing the music, we could now create music visuals to support the marketing of it. We could also distribute your music to all digital platforms, not just on a Caribbean standpoint, but we're looking to get the music to reach and compete with other genres around the world. And this is the structure that I have created, with my brother and his team. And this is how Jesse could, rebrand, not just as an artist, but also as a music executive, an entrepreneur, and a support structure for other artists within our community. Apart from that, of course, I have to use my tools. I have a master's in marketing, and I have to use this now to diversify and look at doing marketing for different brands. We created that agency structure to market brands, commercials, jingles, everything with all my attributes as an entertainer.
Right.
And this is how I'm functioning now.
Okay. How so let's, and by the way, for those risk practitioners, we have touched on, without calling names, business continuity for Jesse. We have talked about reputation, marketing, financial risks. So we are covering the risk elements without naming them, right? Because the name of the podcast is Risk Unfiltered. How conducive is the environment of Trinidad and Tobago to get Jesse to the next level? So we talked a little bit about the corporate, the role the corporate folks can play. So what about the role government can play and the citizens? So how conducive is the place called Trinidad and Tobago? And by way of comparison, we know how the Jamaicans push their music, even with tourism and the government of the day. So how conducive is the Trinidad and Tobago environment to assist you, Jesse, and others like you to go to the next level?
I think we have the resources here, but I think the focus has to change. I believe that Trinidad, I mean, we all know that we're rich in culture. We all know that, but I think that the focus in seeing culture as an investment is important to the people responsible. I don't think that we take it seriously, and that definitely have to change. We look at reggae, we look at Jamaica, we look at all these other Caribbean islands, and how much investment are made, with people, the human resource. And it is what brings back so much revenue into their community. And I feel we have to adapt some of that with our culture, and exporting our culture. That is, so the Ministry of Trade together with the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, they both have to partner to make it work. But at the moment right now, I don't think that the focus is there. And that's where we stand.
But if you have to suggest something to them so that the focus can shift. So it becomes a collaboration, a partnership with folks like you. And we need to be real. There may be some entertainers who are comfortable with just doing their little gigs and their little hustle. And that's okay, right? But for folks like your good self and the others I know of or involved with, they want their reach to be out in the stratosphere, out in the cloud, right? They're shooting for the stars. But if you have to suggest or recommend something to the powers that be, because earlier on I asked you who is advocating for the soca artists at that level, at the corporate level, at the government level, at the tourism? Who? And I can't put my finger on any one person.
Yeah.
So what needs to be, so if you are a judge, the advocate for the entertainment industry, soca entertainers, what would you suggest is to the folks? What should be done? What is needed? Yeah, marketing and all that stuff, but more specific. What would Jesse advise the powers that be?
We need a label. I push in for a label, right? I really push in for that label structure, because I believe that the label structure would give us the finance and allow us to distribute our stuff properly. That is what I believe. So I believe that we need the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Tourism and Culture to partner and create a governing body that would take care of the arts. That is what it is. And not just take care of the arts seasonally, but take care of the arts as a serious business and an industry where there are standards of how we function within the industry. There's standards for producers, songwriters, the creatives, for management, and then we work with the corporate that would drive all that together. So I believe this is what we need. And if we don't have that person, we don't have that person, or we don't have that structure that could represent us. And this is what we need. We have Tuco and we have those other, but they are driven behind just the season. They're driven behind music and then we also have music TT or export TT. But I don't feel like the structure is there in regards to having the competence, having the right people that understand the real issues and then solve it in our industry. So this is what I would suggest. I suggest people like Hyper Hopper, Kwesi, people like Private Ryan, who have experience in our industry, but they have also international experience in how the structure of music could be done. We all need to partner on that focus, on the focus of how could we make our business not seasonal, but make our business 365, so that for pandemics and situations like this, we wouldn't really feel the hurt,
Yeah. No, and actually that's an interesting conversation, because if you go to our YouTube channel, and I advise folks to do so and listen to the conversation I had with General Ryan, aka Private Ryan, and he is moving, but he is leaps and bounds in taking his platform forward, and I would imagine that's what you want for yourself. But I don't want to I want to keep you much longer than I needed to. Suffice to say, it's great to have a conversation with you. From where I sit, looking at my involvement with entities in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a lot more work that can be done that's not being done, and you raised a good example, right? It needs to be more collaborative, and it's not. So when you talk about Export TT, Ministry of Culture, Arts and Culture, and Ministry of Trade, if those folks aren't singing from the same hymn book, it's everything is silo driven.
Everybody working on their own,
and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And then personalities getting into that space. And so for you and your environment and structure you're building, the greatest risk to any organization is its people. But they're the ones that's going to either make it succeed or make it fail, right? And in any massive failure, there's always been fingerprints. So be cognizant of the in your space. And I think I know enough about your brother, and that's a good thing. And I know your wife, and I know that's significant support there as well. So I want to ask, I have some folks who are on with me. If anyone, Benicia and Nisha, if you guys have any questions for Jesse. Anisha, welcome to Risk Unfiltered.
Yeah, one thing I've always, and I would have told Jesse about this before, and one thing I've always admired about you, Jesse, is just that I have seen your organic growth. This wasn't growth that was propelled by anything else. I've seen a drive, I've seen a force from just seeing you in the Calypso tents to where you are now. I've seen that, and I was wondering, is there any way, I mean, you're looking at diversifying, etc., but is there any possibility that you'd ever re-enter into the Calypso realm, or even help push the calypso genre a little further for it to be more commercial, or basically for it to be more contemporary then?
Yeah, I really
great question.
Because Calypso is the bigger when we travel, we go through immigration in the US, they ask, what music you do. And when we say soca, they were like, what's that? And when we say Calypso, then they understand. So it's the bigger brand. So we have little moves in ensuring that Calypso stay alive, just to say that project that I did with Private Ryan for past few months, Calypso project, that is a Calypso project. And this is our way that we try to present it. We presented a music video, we actually record it. And I think that's important so we basically trying to just lead by example, play our part, because the entire Calypso fraternity, just like everything else here, is very segregated. Everybody just doing their own thing. And I think that the seasonal Calypsonians, they need to understand their responsibility too and how they represent the art form. The music definitely needs to be recorded. That's the first thing. It needs to be recorded. So I definitely want to play my part, hopefully coming forward, and the opportunity presents itself for me to perform in tents again. It will definitely be a blessing. So I just have to play my part, and ensure that the music is packaged, the right way. So so look forward for that. That's something I definitely want to get back into.
Yeah, Anisha, following up on that and Jesse. So I would have listened to your version of the song you sang with the Private Ryan project, and then I listened to Terry's and Terry Lyons' song about Calypso. So why is it that, and maybe the older heads and Anisha used the word organic, if the music, and I guess some part could stay as is, but there must be growth, right? Don't you think, Jesse, that the Calypso beat, the Calypso itself, that needs to transform a bit, to use a strong word, be modernized a little bit for it to get to the next level? Or is it just going to stay as is?
I don't think anything is wrong with the content itself. I just think the problem is how we distribute it. Because when we look at Calypso Rose, her success in France, I listened to the album that she got the award for, and she did nothing different with the music. She sang the same thing, same Calypso from Tobago, same thing she did with it.
Wasn't the music a little bit more modernized? Wasn't there some?
Yeah, I believe the quality of the recording was clearer.
Okay. All right.
Production itself was done, at a very high standard. And I think that's what we just need to pack and the quality of the music. But in terms of content and how it songs and what we sing, and I believe that is not the problem. Is the way that we package it and put it out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then we could see you if there's a carnival in 2022, and if the digits are okay, we could see you singing in a tent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's important for especially my generation to keep this thing going, because it's about making it cool for the younger ones, and this is why I just try to, whatever I do, ensure that it's something that's cool and it could stay alive, and the younger ones can look at it as, there's something I want to get into, just like the other job run towards. So
you make it more palatable, because the younger generation is listening to a certain type of music, and if you want them to include, or for them to gravitate towards the Calypso side, then you have to make that music a little bit more palatable. I think you are doing it with most songs. Yeah. Go ahead, Anisha.
I just have one thing to say with regard to the tent. I mean, this year is 100 years since the first commercial tent really opened, and our format is more or less still the same since Railway Douglas time. So Jesse could be one of those persons who could actually revolutionize how a tent is actually set up and how a tent is formatted now. It has to change. It's 100 years.
Well, you know what? A crisis is a trouble thing to waste, and so there are the good things, and then there's the positives coming out of risk conversations. And I think what Anisha just said on. So maybe the sidebar conversation should be, Jesse's Calypso tent. Jesse's modernized Calypso tent for 2022. So we could see you in terms of diversifying your thing. Maybe you bring something out that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is that an opportunity? Is that an opportunity there?
Yeah, because the crazy thing, like I've been messing in my mind with different ideas of creating, entertainment with COVID restrictions, of course. And
right.
something like that has crossed my mind. But I guess in the next coming months, we would see if it makes sense in a very small scale, but just art form, for the art form to be, appreciated and something cool for people to come and enjoy. And yeah, so it's been messing on my mind, something like that. So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens in the next coming months. Actually bring it to life, or if I pass on the concept with somebody else who might be able to have the resources to get it done.
Just remember, if you bring it to life, that Anisha and I won our 10%. Hey, Anisha? Anisha, I think you're still there. You have any questions or comments for Jesse before we let him go his merry way?
Hi, good afternoon. So my question to you is, Mr. Hackshaw, he spoke about people risk, and we would know that the big component of success in any industry is people and support. So my question to you, do you think that you have the right team or / individuals? And when I say team, in terms of are they diverse enough to be able to bring certain out of the box options or proposals to you, so you could take your brand to the next level?
Good question.
Very good question. It's always work in progress with us. And this is where by every project, we get to identify strengths and weaknesses. And when there are weaknesses, this is the situation where we seek support. So as it is a situation where we're not sure if we have all the tools, but as we go, we recognize where the weaknesses are, and this is where we seek the support in different areas. So moving forward, we just can't say yet. It's until we try. It's always a trial and error. Experience.
Yeah, and that's a very good answer, and thanks for that question, Benicia. And the environment. So us as risk practitioners, we say the following: for the foreseeable future, it's going to be very volatile, it's going to be very uncertain, and it's going to be very complex. Matters not the industry you're in, right? Because you are by nature of what you do, you are dependent on the other industries. So if the energy, the finance industry ain't doing well, there's no support for you. Yeah. So you need to find a way in developing your strategy or your strategic plans to ensure that you help facilitate the I can't say the growth of those other industries, but you take into consideration or you focus on where those industries are. So you can be making a lot of music and not paying attention to the fact that the ship got stuck in the Suez Canal. So it's what we call third-party risks, or not concerned with the price of oil. And you're an intelligent guy. And so I tell folks, don't grow your business or build your business with blinkers on. We call it horizon scanning. Know what's happening in the world around you. Yeah, because those things will and do impact you, Jesse, your brand,
Definitely.
Your music, your growth. So stay engaged.
Yeah.
But Jesse, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with us on Risk Unfiltered. As you grow, we will follow you, and I know Anisha will another South is Life kind of person. She's going to keep us posted. Yeah. Much success, much continued success. Go forth and continue to multiply the brand. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon.
Yeah. So let me just use this opportunity to say thanks for the opportunity, and then of course, April 24th we have our event.
Right.
South is Love in collaboration with CollegeBoy Jesse. We're doing Soca Love Story at Naparima Bowl. So for those of you who are local, in this chat right here, feel free. Our tickets are available. Contact anyone from South is Love. I mean, Anisha have information there. Anisha has tickets available too. And we also working on a very cool documentary where people can understand my life and how I got to this spot and what we intend to do moving forward. And I have an EP that's going to be available on the April 24th on all digital platforms. 8 very cool songs with music videos. And so this is what we have available coming soon. So you guys.
But you said, and it's a little worrying to me. You said if you are local, so no streaming of the event, no live streaming.
Yes. So on May 1st, the live event is April 24th. But on May 1st, the event will be streamed online on my social media platform. Also, we have TTT as a partner, and of course on my YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you guys abroad could participate. We are supporting the Ezekiel's home, so all funds will go towards the Ezekiel home that way. So you guys we'll provide all our Cash App and PayPal information there where you could contribute.
Okay, brilliant. And since you're, as I said, you're like Kwasai family, we'll do our part to start to help evangelize the growth and the opportunities coming from CollegeBoy Jesse on our platform. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So thanks again, Jesse, and we'll talk soon, man. Don't be a stranger.
Definitely not, man. Keep safe. You all keep safe.
All right. You too. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.